do it. Catering is something a little bit different. There is a difference between having a restaurant and a catering. The catering job and then the food truck. I think if I were to do it over again, I'd probably do the food truck, catering / catering. It's a hard business, and I commend those who are doing the catering. And but it's a tough business, and I did it, like I said, I did it for almost 20 years. So anyways, but what I'm going to make some tostadas for the spring. So I'm going to get started by washing my hands. But what I have here is I have some refried beans. These are pinto beans that I sold cooked overnight with just onions and garlic, and then at the end I added and then the bay leaves, which was recommended that I used, and it does take it to a whole different level of flavor. And then I added some salt, and then when I refried them, I just used a little bit of oil, and you can use some bacon as well if you want. And I just put a little bit of oil, and then make sure that your oil is hot, and then you add the beans however you want. You don't need no more than a couple tablespoons of oil unless you want them really, really oily. And like I like using, sometimes I like using the bacon, but I'm going to use the oil this time. So and then I refry them. You wait until your beans are boiling, simmering, not boiling, but simmering, and then you mash them, and then you add some. You can add, like I add comino, ground comino, the one that's already in the jar, and a little bit of pepper, and some smoked paprika and chili powder, and I also squeeze in a little bit of lemon. Just could use a little bit more lemon. I like adding a little bit of lemon to that, and it kind of brings it to an acidity and gives it some acidity, and which is really nice. And so you see me adding some, and then I just let it, when it's on the stove like this, it's going to dehydrate. So you can add a little bit of water, and of course you have to season it, alter the seasoning, and you just kind of stir it in, and there you have it. You have your refried beans. And if you want to make it into a soup, which I did a little clip of the soup, you just add a little bit more moisture, liquid in there, and you don't smash it. I use the potato smasher. And I like using potato smasher because I make sure that all my beans are pretty much smashed. And if you want to do it like a soupy type of bean, a refried soupy bean, and they're delicious with just flour tortillas and cheese on top. Oh my goodness! Then you could use the back of the spoon, which is while you are smashing them, which is nice. It's a nice technique. So, so I have my frijoles already, my frijoles guisados already in this skillet, and then I'm going to turn this on, and I have some chorizo here, which I bought at a local health store, a natural food store, and I'm sure you can find one at yours, or you can make your own. And I haven't done a clip of making your own chorizo, but I will teach you how to make the chorizo. And then what I do is I just kind of put it in there, just raise that up a little bit. And I don't want to use a lot of chorizo. Now you could use the chorizo, you can cook the chorizo and then add the beans to the chorizo. But I want to do it separately because I want these tostadas, I kind of want these tostadas to be a little bit different. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start mashing that up like that. Okay? And this is pork. I'm using pork this time. And I buy it at the organic store, it's a community store, and basically it's at the co-op. They call it the co-op. And their pork, I like buying their pork because the meats are humanely slaughtered. So I am picking that up, and then I have like a half of onion that I minced up. I'm going to add some of that in there. I'm not even going to add all that onion. And onions make a really nice filler. Okay. While that's cooking up, I'm going to let that cook. I'm going to take my lettuce here. I'm just going to, because I'm going to, and I've already fried my my tostadas. So I like getting the organic, and these are very, very thin, and they're not that expensive. Everything that I got here was either on sale or cost effective. And this is a really simple dish, and it's easy, and you can make these in advance. And I use an expeller press canola oil to fry these up really gently. And what I'm going to do is just go ahead and I want that very thin sliced. I don't want it chunky. I think about mousse bouche. I think about, I don't want any big chunks of lettuce in it. I want it very thin sliced. As thin as I could possibly have it. I just think it looks nicer. Put that in there. Of that. And what I also made to complement this dish, I made a ceviche, and I'll be posting that as well. And this ceviche has, it's really delicious. It has jicama. Well, I made it with camarones, the shrimp. And what I did was I basically taken some lemon, some lime juice, and some serrano peppers, fresh serrano peppers, and some salt, and I let it seep there, and then I put it in a bain-marie. If you're familiar with the bain-marie, you see how my frijoles are drying up, so I just add a little bit more water, and they hydrate right back up. And like I said, you could add this to your frijoles. I don't think I will. I think I want it separately. So in my ceviche, what I did was after I slightly poached it in its own flavors, and I added some wine, in its own flavors, when I bain-maried it in its own flavor, put the lid on top, and then I let it simmer until I saw there were solid. The shrimp was solid. Then I took it out and I put it over an ice bath. And then what I did was I went ahead and I cut up some red onions. And it should be served right away. While I have that in my head, fresh in my head. And then what I did was I took it out and I mixed in the red onions, the jicama, the cilantro, a little bit of cilantro, a little bit more lime in there, and then I took what happens when you drain the shrimp. The liquids are going to separate. So there's going to be a liquid that is clear on top of a liquid that is solid. So what I did was I carefully took the clear liquid, which has all the flavors of the wine in there, along with the shrimp, and then I just kind of use that liquid, carefully spooned it out and put it back inside there. So I wouldn't have to add any more wine to that. And some people add beer. That's fine too. You can add beer. In the meantime, I made a beautiful salsa. And this is my salsa. What I did was I roasted my tomatillos with my garlic and my onions and my serrano peppers, and I just roasted them. I cut the serrano peppers. I took the seeds out, took the stems off, rinsed them slightly, and then I put it all in a, except for the, I put it all in a pot and let them simmer with some salt. Just a little bit of water, just because the tomatillos are going to give off a liquid as well. So I just put like maybe, and I'll have that on there as well. And I must have used like about 5 or 6 tomatillos, and then a whole onion, and about 3 cloves, and about 4 peppers. I didn't want it too hot. I didn't want it too spicy. So I didn't want to turn that off. I don't know why I did. Oh, maybe I did want to turn it off. Okay. So I did want to turn it off. Okay. So of course I'm going to try it. The chorizo. With the onions. It's spicy. Yum. And very spicy. And there's almost like a sweetness to it. So back to my chile verde. After I took it out, I put it in a blender. I added some cilantro, and then I quickly blended it all with the juices and everything. And I took it out and I just added some comino, a little bit of pepper, and if you have to, add some salt and some lime, and squeeze some lime in there. Okay? So there you have your salsa verde. And I've seen some people put spinach in it. You want to make it greener? Go for it. But I don't want the spinach. I just want the flavors of the tomatillo, which is fine. You could do that as well. So I want to make sure. I mean, I like venturing food. You know, when cuisine is cuisine, when you bring flavors of another country into another country, and you just come up with this American California cuisine, where I'm from, California, and you just kind of you take it to a whole different level, and you got people. I mean, you have so many different ideas of how you can make a tostada, and like I said, this is my ideal. And so I have a little bit of this is fresh oregano, which I'm going to slice up. Just a little bit of that. I'm going to put that over here. I just have a little bit. And I kind of want to put it in my ceviche. My camarón. My ceviche de camarón. Just kind of chop it all up. Yay. It's just enough. Just a little bit. I just kind of want to put some flavor. As you see, I don't have very much. And then I put it, make sure you keep it in some ice. And so I want to get a spoon here. Stir that up. This is so delicious. I put some tomatoes in it. Jicama. If you don't want to use the red onions, you can put the green onions, but I like the color. Oh, and I put some avocado in there. So if you have older veggies, make something out of it. You know, the avocado was about to turn brown on me, so I saved what I could, and I put it in my ceviche, which turned out to be so yummy. Now you can serve this on a tostada just like that, and I mean, you will have a fantastic tostada. Sometimes I just like eating my tostadas, with just Parmesan cheese and hot sauce. I'm going to bring my goodies over here so that I can assemble. I'm going to move this over here. Get that out of the way so I can show you how to do it. Which I've shown you before, but I thought, let's do it again. So I'm going to get a plate. If you're making a dinner, I would suggest 3 because they're so light and they're so they're just quite light, and you can make a variety. Here you have yourself a tostada bar, just like it is right now. You have a tostada bar, and where is my cheese? There it is. So I have this Parmesan Reggiano, and you could use cojita cheese, you could use queso fresco, you could use cheddar cheese if you want. Honey, if you want to use brie, go for it. I don't see nothing wrong with it. If you don't want to use cheese, but because I have shrimp, the rule of thumb is you don't put cheese with your seafood. What I do sometimes when I make my shrimp enchiladas. When I make those shrimp enchiladas, and they're my friend's favorite, and her birthday's coming up, and I might just do that for her. Anyways, but yeah, shrimp enchiladas without cheese. Oh, honey, I put cheese in it, and I put the mixed cheese, and they're so delicious. So here we go. So I have my frijoles guisados here, and then I'm just going to kind of smear that on there, and I think I've done this before, and I have videos, and you don't need a lot, just enough. That's kind of like the glue that's going to hold everything together. And then I'm going to put a little bit of this beautiful chorizo on there. Just kind of want to make one right now. And then I'm going to put some of this lovely, and if you want to put some vinaigrette with your lettuce, that's fine. You could put like a, as a matter of fact, I think I'll do that. I've done it before. You just put a little bit of lemon juice on there, which is nice, right? And then you want to put a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit of olive oil, like that. And I'm not going to salt it up because I think I have plenty of salt in my other foods. I don't like using too much salt, but it does make it more flavorful. And you kind of mix it up like that. Oops. Back in there. So, and then you want to just kind of put that on there. Like that. Nice little heat. Okay. And my towels are very, very clean, so I'll let you know my surfaces have been cleaned. And then I'm going to put my ceviche. I didn't know whether to call it a pico de gallo or a ceviche. So I think I'll just call it my ceviche on there. And then you could put your salsa around it. If you want to put some of the cheese, you can put your cheese. Or you can put your cheese directly on the beans. But I like my cheese on top. So, and this is a nice tostada bar for you to have. And it could be like a small one or a large one, and to get you started. And then you have other cheeses as well. But this, my dear, is going to be the hit. What's so nice is that what's really nice is it's not spicy. So sometimes you can make one salsa that's spicier than the other. And usually my red salsa is going to be spicier than my salsa verde. So I like my salsa verde to not be so spicy. And then you make your red one so that way red equals hot and then the green is nice and mild. In Spain, destinos, tostados. I think that'll pair up really nice with your tostadas. You have a white wine and you have your tostadas. Oh. This is good. Tostada. You should have it. So have a party and there you have it. Your tostada bar with your Vino Blanco, and you have fun and enjoy. You can make all this stuff in advance. Alright, we'll see you later. Mwah.